if you feel that your council person is not doing the right thing, go have a conversation with them, or attend the meetings. Every council member has, community meetings. Or attend the council meetings. Get involved. It's better that than the modern day is you go on social media and bash everybody. That doesn't help anybody. Because it's easy to criticize. Very easy. But it's harder to be part of something and actually bring a solution. And sometimes you may have a solution in your mind, but if you don't bring it to anybody's attention, it gets lost.
Welcome today on the After School Podcast, where today we are with the Councilman of Elizabeth and attorney Manny Grova.
Watch out, the clock may tick and your life's over. Choosing to be happy takes weight off your shoulder.
Thank you. Wow.
How are you today?
I'm doing well.
Oh, that's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, we'll get in with the questions now. How was life growing up in Elizabeth?
So just to give everyone a little bit of history of myself, I was born and raised in Elizabethport, 132 Magnolia Avenue, across from the old Pioneer Homes housing projects. Went to grammar school at St. Patrick's Grammar School and then St. Patrick's High School, which neither of them exist anymore. Graduated number one out of my high school, got a full scholarship to Seton Hall University. I got my bachelor's degree in political science, and I minored in English and accounting. Then I went on to law school at Rutgers School in Newark, completed my first full year full time, and then my parents ran out of money, so I ended up working full time during the day and finished law school at night. And I did it in such a way where I still was able to finish law school in 3 years and did not expand it for 4 years. But because I went to the school locally, I was very involved in a lot of organizations, you guys are, and it was very helpful in my career today as an attorney and as a councilman. I got to meet and deal with a lot of people on a day-to-day basis growing up as a young person, and you showed your focus. You showed these adults the fact that you're serious about what you're going to do, and that helped me in getting a lot of credibility.
Okay. Would you say that there's anything that inspired you to take the route of becoming an attorney?
Yes. I'll give you my little history. So when I was in 8th grade, okay.
Early.
The mayor back then, his name was Mayor Tom Dunn, okay, and he came to speak at our school, and I was the class president, so I got to greet him, and it was just wild, Here's a mayor coming into our school, and he had his bodyguards and everybody, and I'm like, man, I want to be a politician one day, And back then, in the 70s and 80s, most politicians were attorneys. So I said, okay, well, I'll be an attorney so I can be a politician. That's why I majored in political science in college.
Did you ever get the bodyguards?
No. I'm from the port. I don't need a bodyguard.
Oh. Okay, from your history, we know that you went to Seton Hall University. We also know that you went to Rutgers Law School for your degrees. Would you say that there are some challenges you faced in your college life? And if so, how did you navigate through that and earn your degrees at the same time?
Well, like I said earlier, my parents were immigrants. They worked blue collar, no education. So there was very little money at the house. So I worked through college. And by the time I got to my 3rd year of college, I was working night crew. I used to work for Town, which is now Stop and Shop. And I used to work from 11 p.m. until 7 a.m. stocking shelves. Wow. And I would leave there, go to school in the morning. And I did that 4 nights a week. So it was still part-time work because it was 32 hours, but it was tough. And I think the most challenges I had those last 2 years of college were trying to stay awake for my 8 o'clock class. But I had a little mini recorder, and my psychology class, I would tape my psychology professor, and then at night I would go home. I would transcribe it all to notes, and it was great. It was great for me to study the fact that I was listening to the professor while I was sleeping, and then while I was awake, I listened to the same professor. But those are the challenges, because, I mean, it was tough growing up in Elizabeth. Parents are immigrants. They're not making thousands of dollars. And so kids, while you guys are doing your thing here, it's great. We were forced to work during the summer. How it was. If I wanted a pair of sneakers, I had to go work for it.
That's harsh. But obviously you pushed through, right?
Well, I think it's important as a young person, if you know how to face struggles when you're younger, it's easier when you get older.
So can you tell us about your experience actually becoming an attorney finally? Like, fulfilling that 8th grade dream?
Yes. So I graduate Seton Hall University, cum laude, which was like, the gold rope, I guess. I won the Spirit of Seton Hall medal or something, so I was really involved. And then I took my LSAT test to get into law school, and I bombed it.
Oh.
Really bad. And I said, all right, that's it. I'm never going to be a lawyer. So I wanted then, since I had my 4-year degree, I figured let me go try the route of law enforcement. So I went to meet the corporal of the state police. And he says, nah, sir, son, I think you should try it again. So he gave me some courses that were very expensive back then. The Kaplan course was like $1,000 to do those practice tests. And so I did that, and then I did well on my second time around. I got into law school. And then when I graduated law school, it took me 2 shots to pass the bar exam. So it was not easy, because the English in my house was a second language. And there wasn't a lot of time to study in between work and everything. But I finally got through it, and I was working at the county prosecutor's office at the time. I learned how to try cases, and it just, doors started opening up, because people knew my history and just felt this guy was going to be a worker.
What do you think you'd be doing if you weren't given that motivation to take the test again? You ever
I'll
thought
probably
about
be
that?
a retired police officer right now.
A whole another route.
Yeah. It's funny, 'cause I do a lot of defense work, and I would have been on the other side.
Well, glad you're an attorney now.
Yes. Helped a lot of people.
Speaking of you being an attorney now, is there a day-to-day routine you have, from the moment you wake up to the moment you sleep?
Yes. So I don't sleep a lot. I
Ooh.
think sleep is a waste of life. That's my personal opinion. So I usually will wake up somewhere around 5 or 5:15 in the morning. I go to the gym from 6 until about 7. Take a shower at the gym, come back, dress, and go to the office. I'm usually in the office by about 8 o'clock. And I do a lot of, now because of COVID, we have a lot of virtual court. So I have the virtual setup in my house, in my office, with the camera and the computer. Do a lot of virtual court. I meet a lot of clients. Sometimes we have night court. And then other than that, being a councilman, the city of Elizabeth, I have to attend events. I have to attend council meetings, other meetings. And so my day usually ends sometime around 9 or 10 p.m. and we start it all over.
Day.
And then because sometimes my week is very busy, court and meeting new clients and other events, I'll come into the office on Saturday and Sunday mornings and knock off stuff too. So it's a pretty hectic schedule, but the beauty about modern technology is the calendar on your phone. So I put everything on a calendar. I allot sufficient time for everything, so I know I can make everything.
So when you have free time, what do you do?
I like to play golf. But it's hard because golf is like a 4-hour round.
Golf is long.
So either that or I watch the New York Yankees play baseball. I yell at them.
I have another question. You said you do virtual court. Are you ever in there in person?
Yes.
Which
So
one do you prefer?
I always went in person until COVID.
Mm.
I used to enjoy that because you came in, you spoke to other attorneys that were a little seasoned, got to meet judges face to face, and that face to face contact was really good for careers, especially as a young attorney. Um, the Today, what they've done is some courts are virtual, the smaller cases that can be resolved by way of a virtual forum, but most superior court matters are still in person. It's the courthouse, the big courthouse over here. That's all superior court.
Okay. So what are one of your like favorite things that you enjoy to do out of your job, like or at work?
I do what I enjoy the most, and I think one of the reasons why I went into politics and I went into an attorney is that you can help. So most people will call you or come and see you because they're in trouble or there's a problem. Okay, nobody comes to see an attorney just to say hi. All right, and so I think the best rewarding part of my career is the fact that I can help people, give them a sense of accomplishment,
Mm.
and for me, it feels great. And it's the same in city council. We as council members get calls and visits from people about city related stuff, and it's great to get it resolved, and they're happy and on.
Glad you told us everything. As an attorney, are there any challenges in your profession that you think people often underestimate?
Yes, I think the time that we put into cases, people don't realize. I always use the phrase, this is not McDonald's where you come to the window and you drive to the next window and you get your service. Sometimes cases take research, take time. The process takes time. Lack of judges sometimes delays cases, and sometimes people don't understand that. And that's, I think, the hardest part of law is trying to service a client, but there's things that are out of our control.
Mm.
So we kind of try to work through the system.
What's one of the longest that you've been on? Like one of the longest cases, how long has that taken?
I have a case that's pending now, which is a medical malpractice case where a friend of mine's family member passed away, and we're suing a bunch of doctors and stuff. And that's been going on since 2019.
Wow.
But COVID came in, and that kind of delayed a lot of stuff too. So it's been 6 years.
So then on this topic then, what type of cases do you find like the most meaningful to work on?
For me,
Yes.
I enjoy criminal defense work. That's always been my favorite. When I was at the county prosecutor's office, as a prosecutor, I was prosecuting cases. But then, as an attorney, when you go to law school, you learn how to argue both sides. That's why we have a lot of debate teams. So now I've been a defense attorney for the last 30 years, and just protecting people's rights. Sometimes people are accused of doing certain things. They didn't really do it, and you have to try to figure out a way to defend them. It's exciting.
I love debating myself, so I understand the excitement behind
There
that.
you go.
Speaking of cases, have there been like any cases that pulled your heartstrings or made you feel like really strong about something?
Oh boy, there's been a lot. Try to figure out another. I had a young lady who got into a fight, the father of her child, and when the police came, they arrested her. And I know right from the beginning that she didn't do anything wrong, but the evidence showed that she was the aggressor. And in the end, I was able to prove otherwise, and the case got dismissed, and she was crying and very happy. So that one touched my heart.
That's tough. That must be, do you ever like, is it ever hard to work on cases? Like you have to be the serious one that fights for them, right? But is it ever hard, like really hard for you?
Oh, absolutely. So you come to see me with a problem. She comes to see me with a problem. He comes to see me with a problem. That's one problem each of you.
Mm-hmm.
To me, all three of them are my problem now. So I usually have ongoing in my office somewhere between 200 to 300 cases.
Wow.
So they're all in my head somehow. Sometimes that's why I don't sleep much. So, in the middle of the night, I start thinking of things and I write them down.
Mm. Well, I know we've been talking about you as an attorney a lot. We're going to pivot a little bit to you as a councilman of Elizabeth. Now, how did your journey lead you to becoming a councilman in Elizabeth at all? Like, was it something that you always saw yourself doing?
I wanted to get into politics. I wanted to help people. And growing up down the port, 1980s, because I graduated high school in 84. Okay. So from 1984 all the way through law school, which I graduated in 91, the Elizabeth Port area got really bad. Services were not coming down there, city services. And we had a really big wave of burglaries, people breaking into people's houses. And so my dad spoke no English, but I got involved with a bunch of other property owners and neighbors and created a block watch organization. It's called the Elizabeth Port Block Watchers. And it was a serious block watch organization. To have monthly meetings of 200-300 people. And we created, the police department gave us a little mini station down in Jackson Park, which had our own phone. We had our keys to this station. We had walkie-talkies. And we would do patrols ourselves. And at every meeting, people would come complaining about different things. It wasn't just crime anymore. It was, my street light was out, or there's a pothole on my street, or whatever the issues were. And we, as a block watch organization, me as a secretary, I would write letters to the various departments to get these things done, and they would get done because then the next month would come, there'll be other issues, and so I kept thinking to myself, this is like what a councilman should be doing. And at the time, God rest his soul, the councilman was passed away already. He wasn't coming to the meetings. He'd always send other people, and so he then retired. And I said, let me try this. So in 1994, I campaigned by myself. I didn't have any party support. Went door to door, registered a lot of people to vote. A lot of them knew me from the Block Watchers. A lot of them knew my family because my father bought that house in 1965, so down there all those years. And it's like 7 people running for office in 1994 for the position because the gentleman retired, so everybody wanted to run. And I ended up being number 7 on the list. Somehow I ended up getting more votes than anybody else, so I ended up winning the election. And then I became councilman downtown, and really talked up a lot of stuff in city council, and we started getting a lot of services. Mayor Bowich was mayor at the time. He started sending more services to the ward. We got our playgrounds upgraded. We got the streets upgraded. We got a lot of police presence. The mall was built down there. Todd Bowles soccer football fields were built down there. The housing projects went away. We built new housing in place of that. And for the 18 years, the neighborhood has changed a lot since the late 80s till. And I became councilman at large. The mayor then invited me to be a member of his ticket in 2012. So I left as councilman for that area to now being a representative of the whole city.
We definitely applaud you for that, pushing
Thanks.
for such change. You definitely deserve that spot.
Thank you.
And you spoke of doing all these wonderful things as a councilman. And so I asked, how do you believe your role benefits the youth in your community, as well as help empower and protect their voices?
So one of the things that I'm a big fan of, and my colleagues on council know, anything to do with the youth of our city, I'm in front of it. So whether it's the baseball leagues, whether it's the soccer leagues, whether it's cheerleading, whether it's football, basketball programs. I'm always one of the big sponsors for all of this stuff. Financially, I try to be present when I can. And I think that's important to get the kids involved in organized activities so that they don't have too much time on their hands. And I try to read at the schools Dr. Seuss books every time that March comes around.
Dr. Seuss Day.
Yes. So I also donate a lot to scholarship programs that exist out there. So I think the most important part growing up as a young child in whether it's Elizabeth or another big city is try to stay away from bad influences. And so these are the type of things that I think are important. All my kids played basketball and organized soccer, and they were part of the Elmore Little League, so they were always busy doing positive stuff. So they never got themselves in too much of a mess.
Was there, all right, so you as an attorney and a councilman, is there a time that you can think of where a client or just an Elizabeth citizen took real courage coming to you and asking you for help?
It's happened. I can't share too much, but it has happened where people are in a bad situation and they don't know where to go to. And I try my best to guide them in such a way where they don't get hurt, you know?
Okay, speaking of courage, so our overarching theme for this whole program is democracy takes courage. And we were wondering what that phrase meant to you.
That means that if you see something that you don't like that's going on, you need to get involved. Sometimes it doesn't mean that you're going to sit there and rally and yell and scream, but I'm talking about positive involvement. Be part of the system as opposed to criticizing the system. For example, if you feel that your council person is not doing the right thing, go have a conversation with them, or attend the meetings. You know, every council member has, community meetings. Attend the council meetings. Get involved. It's better that than the modern day is you go on social media and bash everybody. That doesn't help anybody. Because it's easy to criticize, very easy. But it's harder to be part of something and actually bring a solution, and sometimes you may have a solution in your mind, but if you don't bring it to anybody's attention, it gets lost. So if you have something in mind that you think can be helpful to the entire community, let us know. Whether it's myself, whether it's the mayor, whether it's the police department, whether it's fire department, anything that you feel is not right, bring it to somebody's attention. I think it's very important that democracy is of the people. So if you're going to be part of the people, then you need to be part of the system. Vote, okay? I can tell you right now there's at least 70% of the population did not vote in the election in June because only 28% came out to vote. So you can't change anything if 3/4 of the people don't get involved. It's very bad.
You can't push for change if you don't speak up.
Correct. And speaking up sometimes means voting.
Exercising your rights. Definitely. Right.
And with that answer, we've come to a close for this interview.
Oh, that was quick.
Well, I actually have one more question.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So to wrap up all of this a little bit, I know it was quick. What is one piece of advice that you would give young people like our listeners, like everyone here in this program, who want to make a difference in their community?
So here's the advice I give you. If you have a goal in your life, a dream, you need to work hard towards that dream. And you're going to get obstacles. You're going to cross situations where you say, is it really worth it? And I'm going to be honest with you, I can tell you from my own personal life, there was a lot of times where I could have easily said, you know what, forget about this law thing. know, it's just too much work. Going to work, going to school. If you really want something, you can accomplish it. Whether there's money involved, no money, just do it. You know, because giving up and quitting is going to be something that you will regret for the rest of your life. So, you know, if there's something you really want to do with your life, whether it's to be, even if you say, you know what, I want to be a doctor, and you look at this idea and you're like, wow, that's impossible. But day by day, step by step, work in that direction, and you'll accomplish it.
What would you say that young people, like a lot of us in this program, aren't voting age, but what would you say that they can do to try to make a difference or try to make their voice heard?
Well, you have probably your parents, your aunts, your uncles who probably don't vote. And you come home and say, Mom, you really need to vote. And you maybe, if they don't want to go out and vote, there is what's called a vote by mail. You go online, you print it, have them fill it out, you know, be their assistant, and make sure that maybe your personal vote can't be made, but maybe you get 5 people to vote in what you believe should be the case. So you've accomplished even better than you voting yourself. You know,
Pushing people to do that, right?
exactly.
And motivating people, your family, your friends who are older than you. Thank you so much.
Thank
For
you.
coming on to this interview.
Thank you, guys. It was a pleasure. And I'm always available if you guys ever need anything. For the listeners at home, my law office is here in Elizabeth at 75 Elizabeth Avenue, all the way down by the waterfront. And we have city council meetings every Tuesday night at 7:30, City Hall on the 3rd floor. And other than that, I think if you look up my name on Google or Instagram or wherever, you're going to find my contact information. I do write a lot of as a recommendation for folks, and I do give a lot of advice, you know, for free in my office if anybody needs any help.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Yay!